we need to start co-creating spaces. I cannot do this work alone. Y'all can't do this work alone. We can't build community alone. Community wouldn't be community if it was one person.
Right.
Mm-hmm. It takes bodies.
Yeah.
Welcome to Henhouse Unruffled, an audio companion to the beers of Henhouse Brewing Company. Each episode, we'll take a deeper dive into each beer's concept, recipe, can art, sensory, and more with your hen host, Fridge.
What up? What's up, Unruffled listeners? It's Fridge, your host for the Henhouse Unruffled podcast. Today, my Unruffled co-hosts and I are sitting down with Chantavy Tornado, one of the co-directors for LGBTQ Connections Napa and Sonoma, and we're talking all about Pride Pours. Pride Pours is a super fun initiative where LGBTQ Connections partners with local brewery tasting rooms to champion inclusivity and awareness, all through the month of June. To find out more, listen on. And without further ado, let's get it going. Hey, Unruffled fam. Today we're sitting down with Chantavy Tornado, who is the Sonoma County Director of the LGBTQ Connection Napa and Sonoma. Welcome to the Unruffled podcast.
What's up, Fridge?
You know, just chilling like a fridge does.
Wow.
Hey, you know, it's an old joke, and I still get laughs, so I'm going to keep saying it.
Yeah, it's a great joke.
Yeah.
Literally exactly what a fridge does.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Would you please introduce yourself to our listeners and tell them a little bit about who you are in your own words?
Sure. I'm Chantavy Tornado, she, her, they, them pronouns. I am actually the co-director of Sonoma County, and I have another co-director for Napa County, so I focus mainly here in Sonoma County. LGBTQ Connection is a nonprofit serving the community, the LGBTQ community, providing resources to our youth as well as businesses, local other organizations with best practices to create safe space in our community. I was born and raised here in Sonoma County. I'm first generation Cambodian. I come from the west side of Santa Rosa. Wow, the kingdom of Santa Rosa. Yeah, and I do social justice work. Prior to LGBTQ Connection, I started Love and Light here in Sonoma County, which created a social justice movement. Actually, more so amplified the social justice movement because we have a lot of folks in our community already doing that work. It really interconnected and created interdependent healing. I do have 15 years in hospitality, so I'm trying to bridge that gap also.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
So how long has LGBTQ Connections been around, and how long have you been with them?
We've been around for about 15 years in Sonoma County since 2015. So I'm starting with pretty much a clean slate here in Sonoma County of building our organization and evolving it.
Did it start as Voices in Napa?
No, actually, it started from youth going to Voices, LGBTQ youth. And there wasn't a place, there wasn't a foundation for LGBTQ youth to thrive. And so that manifested in Napa, and then it was brought over here.
Nice. Well, we're super stoked to be participating in an ongoing initiative that y'all are presenting called Pride Pours. Can you tell us a little bit about the initiative?
Sure. So we're teaming up with local breweries such as yourselves, Henhouse, Steel and Hops, Shady Oak, and Three Disciples.
Yeah.
And, you know, one thing about teaming up with local beer companies is that there is DEI work happening in a lot of these breweries we're working with. What does that mean? Diversity, equity, and inclusion. Y'all are doing the good work, and it only makes sense for us to bridge that gap and work with y'all. You know, we have a long-standing wine country theme, but we're in Sonoma County, and we're really I know that with the community of folks working within beer, that there is equity happening. And we want to change the narrative of what that looks like with hospitality, with nonprofit, and with community.
I love it. What would you say is the main goals for Pride Pours, or what's the hope with Pride Pours?
The hope is just to celebrate, to be honest, I can't say it enough. Pride is not just a month. Pride is an entire protest that
Oh, yeah, that's going to show up on the recordings. We'll just take a quick break, wait for that Doppler effect to stop.
That was kind of on point, though.
Yeah, it's
right.
true, actually.
It came after Pride is a protest. And I want to kind of bring it back to those roots of, like, how did DEI work start? It started with trans Black women. It started with trans community, queer community, really fighting for rights and to exist, right? So I think that what we're doing now is just intersecting our line of work. After working in hospitality and seeing how that works, how interdependently we work with the community and create safe spaces is super important to be outward with. And Pride isn't a month, it's an existence. And that's what we're trying to push is being in all these breweries. We're going to introduce ourselves a lot more in an outward way, but we're not going anywhere. We're going to build these relationships, especially with Henhouse and all of the other local breweries.
I love it. So I know you touched on this a little bit already, but why do you see Henhouse and local beer in general as a good avenue for the program?
It's more grassroots, I have to say. It doesn't feel capitalized. And for us, and mainly my team that represents so many cultures, beer is just our common ground here in Sonoma County. What can I say? Like, it's not a suit and tie. It's not catered to a certain demographic. It's catered to community. And I really feel that with the beer community.
100%.
That's nice to hear.
I mean, the theme of Pride this year is we are family. What does that mean? And a lot of Pride is like chosen family, right?
Right.
And under the umbrella of existence, right? We work together. We exist together. And what does that look like? We do this together.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like a chosen family in the craft beer community.
Absolutely.
Too, Definitely a lot of parallels. I remember when I was first coming up in it, it just felt like, kind of the motley crew, the group of miscreants all coming together to unite under something that we all really enjoy together.
Nice. I was into Heart myself, but Motley Crue.
Yeah.
Heart's great too.
First concert,
Yeah.
Derek Buda.
Yeah.
Trust me, when I be vacuuming back in the early aughts, my mom would be blasting Heart. While she was cleaning somewhere else, I'd be vacuuming.
I felt like it went with the Sonoma aroma,
Oh yeah, it blended well. It was a nice pairing.
Yeah.
That's a pretty strong first concert. Where was that?
I forget.
It's like Burbank or something?
It was.
You know?
I feel like it was here.
Oh, yeah,
it could have been Wells Fargo.
Which wasn't Wells Fargo then, though.
No, what was it called?
Is that the Luther Burbank Center?
Burbank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's returns to that moniker as well.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, look at that.
Yeah, first concerts. I mean, got to bring it up. Mine was definitely Weird Al.
Oh, that makes
Damn
sense.
it. We're helping Fridge with this streak.
Yeah.
Fridge finds a way to bring up Weird Al on every podcast.
Do you?
I do. I just love him. What can I say? Smitten. Hand me a karaoke microphone. Expect to hear at least 2 to 3 songs from Weird Al's discography.
Faithfully rendered. Great job.
Okay, I'm gonna hold you to that.
What's your karaoke song?
Oh God, culturally I despise karaoke. I was forced into karaoke at
Hot
a young,
take.
out of the embryo. No, in Southeast Asian culture, I
Sure.
don't know if you know,
Sure.
we take it very seriously.
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
Can I make a point of distinction, though? At least having, my only expertise in this is having lived in Koreatown briefly in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
No shade to the karaoke lovers at this table. It's not my favorite thing, and it always struck me as like extremely obnoxious. Like I'd be at some bar and I'd be like, I came here to like have a drink and talk to my friends.
Your Sweet Home Alabama.
And now this person is drunk and wants to sing like poorly, loudly, and
Yeah.
and then I go and I like it's huge in K-Town. Like
Sure.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Like the other thing is it's
You're
like
preaching to the choir here.
it's a cheat code to keep drinking until like 5 till as late as you want, basically, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're private rooms.
Yeah.
They're great.
You don't have to like
Yeah.
involve the rest of the brewery tasting room.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't want.
or
I don't
in
want
your
to share my
shit.
list with everyone. You know, like I want to sing. Lonely in a corner.
But to
Yeah.
me, that made me get, in quotation marks, karaoke a great deal more. I was like, okay, like
No,
we're
we're
gonna
just-
lock ourselves in this room, get
No,
very
it's
drunk, and
great.
yell at each other, yell songs at each other. But we've all, by crossing the threshold into this room,
Right. Consented.
We've all consented to having this
I
happen
do
to us.
have to say, karaoke on Wednesdays at the and maybe I'm plugging this in. I don't know.
Plug 'em.
On Wednesday at the Dirty has turned into queer night. It's been so cool to see
that's legit.
multiple different people and sing well.
Yeah.
Do we sell beer to the Dirty? If so, you have to say 2 more accounts in that area.
You know, if they aren't serving our cans with their absent draft system, I certainly hope they are.
Hey, just don't ask for an old fashioned, okay?
Oh,
yeah. And the fabulous folks at the Dirty took great care of the Chicken Gang after our anniversary party down the street. Huge shouts to the 440 Club and Whole Foods. Whole Foods Cottontown.
No, I don't want to.
Sorry, those are our 3
In order to be legal, we
know.
can't say a nice thing about one account and not 2 others.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
with different ownership.
Yeah.
Gosh, that's
ABC
some
compliance.
Poor dating. That's poor dating skills.
Right.
I mean, when we're on a podcast that we're recording and putting out into the
No,
world, I'm allowed to in life
Oh.
say nice things about places.
I get it. It's like you have to compliment Sally and her 2 friends.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they don't. You don't want to let them like make them feel left out. You know?
Yeah. They're not into that. And I'm looking at you.
So, we've been talking a little bit about inclusivity in the craft beer space. We actually been talking about creating safe spaces a lot on the podcast recently, specifically in regards to our upcoming beer festival, the Freshtival.
Ooh, clever.
Right? Yeah, it's all
Yeah.
about fresh beer.
Summer.
Hope to see you.
I hear summer.
It's gonna be
Yeah.
it's gonna be the height of summer, June
Ooh,
25th. Next month's coming up. It's super close, actually. I'm starting to get nervous. But
You're starting to get nervous.
I know. But how would you define a safe space?
Well, first, I'm ready for the festivities.
Oh, let's get you a job in the marketing department here at Henhouse.
No, I'm done that. I'm good. A safe place is where you walk in and you're comfortable. And that is as simple as it may sound. It really is just being represented and accepted. It's the energy you bring. It's the energy you put into that space, right? For example, I can walk anywhere, right? I can go into any space, and I am a safe space. I individually am a safe space.
Yeah.
And so wherever you go individually, and you have to look internally, wherever you go, you cultivate that. It's not necessarily the building, right? A building's a building. It's the people that go into the building. It's the people that provide service, that provide craft, that provide kindness, right? And it's that rapport. And you all know, being in service industry, that it's about rapport. It's about really bridging the gap and cultivating stories.
Yeah, make
Sharing
you
Yeah.
feel
stories,
comfortable.
Yeah.
having conversation. And that's the safe space, allowing conversation and being open. So honestly, I think a safe space starts with the individual. It doesn't start with location, place. You could do whatever you want to a place and it could be complete shit because the people don't cultivate that.
I love that.
So then in looking to, like, for example, in the case of our big festival, right? It's going to be
Right.
2,700 people.
You be outward.
Say more.
You be outward with how you represent your brewery, your community, and your team, as well as who you invite in. What type of vendors do you have there? Who's serving who? And then also 0 tolerance for any bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah, no jerks.
Yeah.
No, not jerks.
Yeah,
No, only the freshest, right?
Right.
keeping it fresh.
But really, that's it. Like, everybody wants to be acknowledged, ultimately. And that's what it comes down to. Someone can walk in and you can not say, hey, hello. But if you're inviting, one thing I learned being Cambodian in my household is that you walk in, we make you a sandwich. I don't care who the hell you are, where you come from. I'm going to make you food, or I'm going to invite you in. I'm going to start conversation with you. And I don't care where you're from. I'll learn that. And it's really the zero, judgment.
Yeah, I feel that whenever anyone walks into my house, I'm always like, hey, can I get you something to drink? Or, we got snacks. Like, my house is your house. Just that attitude
Yeah,
is
and
important.
And it's super important, especially in our current climate with all the homophobia. right? All
Right.
of the outward racism. Like, we need to just do better as a community and look at your friend groups. Who's in your friend group? Is it diverse? Start asking yourself questions like that. And if you are scared, you probably have one friend who will open it up for you. And it does take work, but it takes both people.
Yeah. We need to be just as loud with the positivity, the love, and the kindness.
Yeah,
To
but
match
also
that
the
vitriol,
honesty, right? Live
Word.
your truth. If things aren't great, call it out. But that's really a safe space, being like not acknowledging truth. Like, it doesn't have to be all rainbows and glitter, which I love. I'm wearing all black today. You know, it definitely is like a process, but we need to work together. And I'm glad to hear that you all are doing DEI work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a Jedi program too. And so when I hear that, I'm like, great. You know, like the Steel and Hops, they have it in their workers book of like, really,
Yeah.
it's progressive as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like some like real
I
steps
love
that people can take, you know, right there. Just like championing that. Oh yeah, and you can totally say, fuck, it's fine. This is a explicit
I lived in
podcast.
Chicago for 10 years. I may be California, but I got Chicago in me.
Sounds like we really covered that subject well, so thank you for that. I did have like a kind of a follow-up question
What
to
was
it.
it?
Well,
You look like you want to say
well,
it.
may as well, you
Yeah,
know.
I know, Fred.
So, you know, besides being open and, you know, starting with the individual and having the attitude and the mentality, from your perspective, what other steps can the beer community take to facilitate a more welcoming environment for all?
I think it starts internal with who you hire, how you represent yourself, what demographic you're looking to cater to. You know, understand your communities. How do you support your communities, especially as a local beer company? And y'all have been great. You know, I've seen you everywhere, and that's why we reached out to you. It's really just knowing your community. And keeping it grassroots has been super amazing. And I just suggest everybody just keep it grassroots. Support your communities you're in. Santa Rosa, Petaluma. Petaluma definitely needs support. The youth need us. The adults need us. And really just hyper-focusing on the community at hand.
Yeah, it's really powerful stuff. Just, you know, talking to people, you know, the grassroots nature, like you were talking about. I love it. So I know we've been talking about like alcohol related things for adults to participate in, but I know that the youth is super important for LGBTQ connections. Can you tell us about the youth advocacy program that y'all are doing and why it's important?
Sure. We do cycles of youth leadership team where we work in Sonoma Valley all the way to West County, all the way to Healdsburg, some from Cloverdale. And there's only 4 of us here in Sonoma County.
Wow.
Yeah. So we're doing the work of individually each of 10 people. And we do it because we care. And I know it's really traumatizing right now during the pandemic. Our youth leadership team is made up of youth from all over, queer identifying or navigating. I'm going to say it that way. We work with a lot of GSAs, Gay Straight Alliance, in the high schools and middle schools. And something really awesome coming up is the West County youth have facilitated a queer prom that we're holding at the Barlow in June. And this involves all of the GSAs. It's fairy tale theme, and we're helping them uplift because right now they haven't been able to celebrate with all the homophobia happening and the fear, and also not just navigating queerness, but navigating culture has been parallel with navigating queerness. And it's been mind-blowing what the youth want to do impactfully. I think that what we can do, like, to help support them more is just listen as adults. And that's what I do for a living, is really, what do you want to do? Our whole programming is co-created with youth. And so that's what makes it like every year it's evolving. We're just overwhelmed with the good work. You know, it is hard work, but we're needed and we're making an impact. And hopefully we can keep up.
I love it. So, in addition to Pride Pours and the the gay prom coming up. Are there other things planned for Pride Month, particularly like ongoing initiatives or actions taking place on behalf of our local LGBTQ plus community that our listeners can amplify or support at this time?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're not the only LGBTQ nonprofit that exists here in Sonoma County. We got Positive Images, who uplift LGBTQ families. And we have also our trans group as well. And also there's like individual groups within schools. There's a lot going on. We have Sonoma County Pride as well, amplifying things. There's doing the first parade in downtown in a while, and that's on June 4th. And we will definitely be participating with other LGBTQ community as well as allies and accomplices. And it's going to be a celebration. Again, like Pride as a month is a lot because of current events. We just want to exist, and it's a lot of work. Mm-hmm. So it could be a bit traumatizing during Pride Month for the queer community. And for us, it's to just take it with grace. And with LGBTQ Connection, what we've done is cultivate a relationship beyond just a month. And that's been really important. But if you go on any of the local websites or Instagram and follow any of our organizations, there's plenty to do. Some things that aren't events, more like best practice trainings to make you better equipped to, facilitate safe space, is on our website. We do community trainings, and that's something to look at Pride is like, what can I do to better make myself educated on LGBTQ rights?
Yeah.
Can we run that list of organizations one more time in case people want to make sure they can follow?
Yeah. So Positive Images, which started in Santa Rosa, LGBTQ Connection, obviously. We also have LGBTQ families, and then we also have trans life. We all intersect, and we all, the prom is put together with PI, Positive Images. And, the time is now to, come together.
Yeah.
I know that sounds like a presidential, but, I don't think presidents should exist, but it sounds like a presidential speech to me.
Slogans are powerful.
But, we need to start co-creating spaces. I cannot do this work alone. Y'all can't do this work alone. We can't build community alone. Community wouldn't be community if it was one person.
Right.
Mm-hmm. It takes bodies.
Yeah, it takes bodies. It takes showing up. And I'm probably at capacity.
Yeah.
But the one thing I know is that I show up for every type of community. And why? Because me as representation, even for API community, even for queer youth, queer community, it shows that you're okay to be there. Mm-hmm. You're okay to show up. Even with Andy Lopez, to our farm workers. It doesn't have to directly affect you to not affect your community.
Yeah.
Totally.
If you're part of that, you be part of it.
Yeah, it's like the golden rule almost. You want to show up for everyone else, so when you need help, they'll show up for you, right?
Right, and we need it more than ever.
Yeah.
I'm interested in you talked about Pride as protest and celebration.
Yeah.
Can you talk about those two things coexisting, celebration and protest?
I mean, advocacy, right, intersects with protest. You're advocating for who you are, your rights to be equal, actually be equal. And that in itself is, you should always celebrate your life. Lives matter. Black Lives Matter. We know what's happened in recent events with the shootings. If that doesn't shake you, to the core, then you stand up, you say something. You may not always have to be outward, but you keep your friends in check. You make sure they know that's wrong, And it is a celebration when we can come together and share our cultures and exist in a safe space. It is a celebration. It's such a celebration because that's what, if you really come down to it, living here in America, you have so many cultures, so much diversity. And if you don't uplift each other, then you're going to lose that. We're not here to be monotone. Mm-hmm. We are a literal fucking rainbow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Our differences make us better.
Right. Even in queerness, right? Mm-hmm. It's an umbrella term, right? And for me, it's even decolonizing in my team, decolonizing what queerness in Western culture is.
Sure.
Right. So it's identity. Identity for me is like I'm pan. What does that mean? That me to navigate my Buddhism and what that means to me, right? But it's not under the Western gaze. So we're always celebrating differences because that's what makes us beautiful.
Yeah.
And then, if I hear you saying correctly, that celebration is almost inherently protest in a place where those identities are marginalized.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, even the term marginalization is like not a great term because there's global majority, right? We have global majority. And if we stand together and actually look at everybody, people of color, and it's really interesting. I have a hard time just being like, I just want to exist. Because, like, I'm alive and I just want to be alive. And that's the sentiment with a lot of our youth, a lot of the people in our communities is we just want to be able to live with resources that are equitable and provide. So that's really it. As simple as it may sound, is people just want to live.
How was all that reflected in what you have planned for Pride Pours?
Pride Pours is, you know, I'm really excited for y'all to meet my team as well as the volunteers that may be joining us while we're doing the happy hours. It brings in the nonprofit and we're outward. So we're going to be here. We're going to be at Santa Rosa. We're going to be at the other breweries and we're going to be talking to community. And it's a more like upfront way of like doing a happy hour. And, you know, that's another thing is like, what does happy hour look like? You know, what does it mean? How can you actually build community? And I hope that like moving forward, it doesn't just happen during Pride Month, that you highlight other nonprofits doing the good work, you know, and intersecting that with breweries, especially in the daytime.
So, to be clear, LGBTQ Connection will be visiting all of these breweries throughout that month.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And giving you swag.
Love swag.
Awesome.
You heard it here, folks. Come on out to these Pride Pours events. Get a chance to meet the wonderful folks from LGBTQ Connections. So besides coming out to Pride Pours, you know, maybe some of the listeners aren't able to do that. How can they connect with LGBTQ Connections? How can they find you if they want to participate or help the cause?
Facebook or Instagram, LGBTQ Sonoma. You can find us on Instagram. And if that doesn't work for you, we can always email you or give you a call. I love phone calls. Had a lot lately. But yeah, just reach out, honestly. Reach out. Insert yourself. Advocate. If you want to volunteer, don't be scared. Like, volunteer. Come help us. We need it. We need community.
I love it. I love it. I think, lastly, we'd like to formally invite LGBTQ Connections to collaborate with Henhouse on a beer for Pride 2023. What do you think about that?
I already have a beer name in mind.
Ooh.
Are we no spoilers on the podcast? Or can
I
we
don't know.
spoil it?
I don't know.
I mean, yeah, let's workshop it. I'm ready.
Let's foreshadow it.
Yeah.
Tease it out.
Rainbow Connection.
Ooh.
Oh my God, my love for Muppets and queerness all in one amazing
Yeah.
beer name.
Right? And
Yeah.
then get a queer artist locally, do a competition and get someone to have their art.
Well, we got the mosaic option too. We could do a lot of different queer artists.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Up to six-
sometimes
up
we
to
do
16.
more than one.
so you're talking
label.
a 6-pack, huh?
Yeah, or like 4 different labels, unique labels on one
Yeah.
4-pack.
Yeah.
We can do
different
6.
artists.
We could do 16.
Yeah, the
Then people gotta
technology lets
collect
us
them
do
all.
16.
And you know, that was an idea like actually a year ago that I like brought up, not to you all, but I know my friend Bud Snow did one for
Yeah.
y'all. That's my
label's dope.
homegirl.
Yeah.
Bud's amazing.
Yeah.
They're still in Oakland?
Yeah.
Yeah. I
My
mean,
sister best friend.
they've made their mark all over the county. Like whenever I'm driving around, I'm
Yeah.
always happy to see
Yeah.
their stuff. You
Yeah,
know?
Bud's amazing. But yeah, I remember Bud doing a can for y'all.
Yeah.
Well, the first Art Forward, I think.
Yeah, that was the OG.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
The other thing that's
amazing.
I think could be really cool about this if we do it right is it then opens it up to participation from accounts.
Absolutely.
Right? So there would be a Pride beer all over Sonoma County at various accounts that they're pouring that kind of bring them into that community of
Again, that's
places to drink the beer.
representation, y'all. That's outward representation. How you outwardly push yourself, right, is really important. You know, people see it and they're gonna be like, okay, y'all are safe.
Yeah.
It's like putting a rainbow or a progressive flag in your house.
Yeah. It's, the power of an image, Mm-hmm.
I remember when I saw Mulan for the first time, I was like, she don't look like me, but she's Asian. It'll do.
Yeah.
But it's really that. It's really like that much power.
Yeah, representation matters 100%. And I absolutely love that name, for the record. Like, I'm already dreaming it up.
I'm just saying, it's a good name.
Yeah.
Bob, were you just checking the
From, like, my
availability?
Literally. Up for grabs.
From
up for grabs?
From my marketing background, I'm just like,
Yeah, you're killing it right now.
Yeah.
And Bob just checked Untapped, and there aren't too many beers with that name.
There are, which is also good.
Okay.
There's so many that it becomes.
If it's not just like one, we're good.
The way beer naming works is if there's one brewery that does it, we probably shouldn't. Although I'm like, if you only sell beer in Nottingham, England, we'll go ahead and use that name too. Or if you see like 50 brewers using that name, then that's also fair play.
Yeah, and then, there's like, 8 colors in the rainbow, so maybe it's like 8 different unique labels.
Aren't there infinite colors in the
Or you
rainbow?
could just call it
The Roy G. Biv, isn't that 7?
kaleidoscope.
No, we definitely can't call a beer Kaleidoscope.
How
You
come?
can call
That's the flagship of one of our friends, Red
yeah.
the Freeway.
is it?
Yeah,
That's right.
Can't do that. No, Rainbow Connection is great. And it makes me think
I
of that
like
song.
it. It's like, it's cheesy, but it's like, we're old. And maybe some of y'all are in your 30s like I am. But
Cheese is good. I love cheese.
Did the Muppets stop with our youth, or are new
way.
youth being
No,
introduced to the
they're
Muppets?
here.
Yeah.
There's a new Muppet show starting where several of them transform into giant robots to
No,
help.
that's Sesame Street, and I saw it on HBO Max, and it freaked me the F out.
It's freaky. But those
Do you know about this?
I don't know. I've been watching Adventure Time like crazy.
Is there any other
yeah.
show
That's my
than
jam.
Adventure Time?
No, because I can zone out.
Man, so you get to the hard ones, then you're sobbing.
Oh, there's some
man.
real tearjerkers in
my
that series.
God.
Yeah.
I'm not dropping this. You guys need to see this. It's like Elmo, fucking
Yeah,
Cookie
it's
Monster,
terrifying.
and somebody else.
Those are
and they're
Muppets.
like,
Turn into Transformers?
oh,
Yeah.
okay, but stop it. They're Sesame Street characters.
Ronin Warriors.
They're they're mech warriors.
Yeah. They're,
Oh, that's awesome.
No, it's
Technically,
not,
they're-
Yeah.
dude.
yeah.
What
It's like
It really old dude
I
did the
think I
crap
need to
out of
just
me
like
as well.
bring it in.
Yeah.
Let's
What are
rein
we
it
talking
in here.
about?
New Robo Muppets of the future.
What kind of podcast is this? Why is there
Chantavy,
no
the
smoke
voice
in
of
this
reason
room?
that we need.
So see, because I think the warrior Sesame Street characters is like hits the blunt once. Like,
Yeah.
What if? It's
Yeah.
like those characters represented such a like cuddly, like sweet innocence on Sesame Street for me, and now they're like,
Sayre, the fine folks in children's programming would
Hey.
never smoke weed. What are you talking about?
All body types accepted, though.
oh,
Right.
okay.
That's true.
That's a good way to see it.
Yeah.
I like it that way.
Why can't you like thick Elmo? Come on. Now.
Right?
Look, we just met, but not an issue.
Look, thick can mean 70 feet tall and made out of
Made of
steel.
steel,
Yeah. That's thick with 4 C's.
Yeah. Ultraman, Godzilla, thick.
4 seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on the podcast today. Are there any last minute thoughts or advice about inclusivity or any other subjects you'd like to share?
I know that you've asked me a lot of questions. What do you all see yourself doing to create safe space? Like just one thought of how you've done it individually.
That's a great question. I think you kind of nailed it on the head, at least for me, with your point of view, where it starts with yourself. And, I always think back to how my mom taught me to be a loving, caring person that is considerate of other people. And you treat others the way that you want to be treated. Right? So if you make people feel welcome, regardless of who they are, what they look like, if you treat everyone with that same level of respect, that is how I am creating a safe space for people.
Thank you, Fridge.
Yeah.
Man, I hope I'm learning how. I've been in this industry for more than 15 years now, and I would say it's definitely more diverse than it was when I got into it. I don't know how much of that is in spite of itself, though. I think the biggest thing we can do as like a straight white male led company, and me as a straight white male, is listen and follow the analysis of those most affected. So the festival was a huge thing for us. Like, I don't know if you're aware, craft beer had a pretty serious reckoning around these issues during the pandemic. And a lot of that conversation was around these big events. Everything from them not being literally like people worried about their physical safety because of the amount of alcohol and the fucked up ratio at some of those events, all the way to just how exploitative they can be from a labor standpoint, right? It's like a 14-hour workday. A lot of people do them. It's their 6th day of the week if they're on salary as salespeople, all this stuff, right? So trying to figure out how to address that while also running a for-profit business. I mean, I guess I worry a lot that it's really hard to reconcile
none
this
of
stuff.
us are all nonprofit. We have to be realize that we're in a capitalistic society, right? So I understand. It's really hard to do the good work, especially in hospitality. But you are doing it, right? You have a Jedi program here. Like, I don't know many people that do. And that's a big deal. I'm just saying that, like, that is something. You acknowledging and saying what you have, like, yeah, you're for profit. I mean, how do we survive in America? Like, I can't say that nonprofits are fully nonprofit, right? We need profit to do the good work.
Well, everybody deserves a living wage, you know, and on that point, you know, like anything that is worth doing is going to take hard work.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, to smiling broadly and meaning it. That's the best thing I can do. I'm just one corpse, but animated.
Great.
I'm an animated corpse.
Like what kind of animation?
Like loudly. I smile with my
great.
whole body to try and bring people in.
Awesome.
Bring in the cheer, 100%.
Yeah.
Should see this guy at a brewery tour. He hypes up the crowd, 100%.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, we should switch roles for a day where
Yeah.
you hype up a protest. I mean, I'm sure I could do your job.
Yeah.
My guess is that wouldn't be the first time Bob has done that.
No comments on this motherfucking microphone. But we can talk later.
I really appreciate y'all for inviting me here, and it feels very much like home. Every time I go into a Henhouse, and I just want to point that out, is that there are a lot of spaces where I feel uncomfortable here in Sonoma County, and we're really happy to like collaborate and co-create with you all, because ultimately we're here, but we're here to like uplift you all too.
Community. Everybody in this
Community.
together. Yeah. Yeah.
Community. Community.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Awesome. Thank you so
Give
much.
Fridge a chance to turn it into a musical. And
Right?
Oh my gosh.
Oh, yes. I
Bring out the Muppets.
bring out the Muppets, please.
Yeah.
I really hope we get to do this thing for Pride 2023. I think that's a great next step for this. I'm really excited for what's going to happen right around the time that people are hearing this podcast.
I mean, this is our first go around, right?
Right.
So, like, who's to say it's just gonna get better, y'all.
And we should run the full list of the breweries that are involved so we
Yeah.
can give them their props too.
Yeah, we got Steel and Hops, we got Three Disciples, we have Shady Oak, and we have Henhouse.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Steel and Hops, Three Disciples, Shady Oak, and Henhouse. You heard it here first, folks. Get yourself out to one of these Pride Pours events or all of them. It's going to be rad.
Yeah. All of them.
Yeah, go to all of them.
All of
It's
them.
Wednesdays, right?
Every Wednesday.
Your Wednesdays in June are booked, folks.
Yeah.
Yeah, who said Hump Day couldn't be cool?
Henhouse Unruffled was created by Anna Scott. We record at Henhouse Brewing Company's Palace of Barrels in Petaluma, California. Our producer is Brian Henderson, and our associate producers are Josh Staples and Fridge. The music you've been listening to was written and performed by our San Francisco account rep McLean from his album Speechless and Speechless 2, which you can find on Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal, and anywhere one finds dope music. If you have a question or comment about this or any episode of Henhouse Unruffled, please let us know by calling 707-347-9425 to leave a message. You can also send an email to podcast@henhousebrewing.com. For more information, visit www.henhousebrewing.com or stop by one of our Bay Area tasting rooms. The voice you've been listening to is Imani Russell Black. Please listen and drink responsibly.